Hey, good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, Destiny, do me a favor. Check my audio levels and stuff as they're coming through. And folks, there's the number on the screen, 706-889-9700. If our audio levels may be a little off or whatever, let us know, because we had to take this production computer right here that I use in Studio B down to the office in Studio A to run Saturday night's debate through a webcam through Zoom. So we had to alter our in and out on our audio. So just let us know. Now, first of all, for our new viewers, let's see how we start this. For our new viewers this morning, because I know we have several, I moderated the Georgia 9th Congressional District debate Saturday night, 3 hours. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the candidates, every one of them. There's 9. And then we did a 1 hour roundtable, and I've already had candidates say, hey, that was fun. So we are going to plan some roundtable discussions. Really good. After the debate, we just came back for an hour, and I'm not going to pass judgment because we did 3 hours, and candidates did have to go places, and they have lives. But after the debate was over, we came back. Sorry about this. I'm trying to get something working here. We came back and we did 1 hour of just roundtable, some topics and discussions, and we really liked that. Now at 8:45, I have invited multiple times all of the candidates to be on the show. Now, although he was on the debate Saturday night because he's a 9th congressional district candidate, Ethan Underwood, we have invited him this morning at 8:45, so he'll be our guest. He's a candidate, Ethan Underwood, at 8:45. Now, if you are out there, if you're a part of this audience, now there's two things. If you're a part of this audience and you're not there yet, just stay with us, okay? If you do not like being right about something, all right? If you feel a little funny inside if you say to somebody, hey, I was right about that, why? I mean, I for one don't think there's the feeling of a baby being born, but whatever, right? I for one do not feel there's anything wrong with being right about something. And I tend to be right several times a day. I mean, that's why the Cub fan and I have, disagreements from time to time. He thinks he's right. I know I'm right. So we have disagreements. If you're new to the show, you don't want to miss the All-Star panel. I'm giving a little new updates here. So if you're a regular viewer or listener, hang tight. You don't want to miss the All-Star panel at 8:45 on Friday morning. I call him the Cub fan, but Rick, Jane, and Bruce are amazing people, and we are great friends, and we have a great hour. How many times did I use great? I'm like Trump. It was great. It's awesome. But anyhow, so here are all the things that I am correct on this morning. We will start. Oh, by the way, all right, let me put this up, okay? Let me go with Destiny, put this on. And first, before we get going, okay, I want to give all of the GOP, local GOP, county GOP. We had Towns County, Rabun County, and Union County were sponsors. I want to give a shout out to Stephen and Robert and Betsy and all of them. But Saturday night, Stephen and Robert, you guys are amazing. Okay. I want to give my biggest shout out to Destiny. We have attitude. We don't have bad attitude at FYN. I mean, put the number back on the screen, okay? If you want to join FYN as a reporter, you want to do your own show, a reporter, whatever you want to do at FYN. But I want to tell you this, if you ever apply, you need to have attitude, not bad. You got bad attitude, you're out of here, damn it. Sorry. But you need to have what we call FYN attitude. We're going to do this thing. We're going to do it. We're going to knock it out of the park. Destiny, Saturday came in with the FYN attitude. Saturday night, we're going to knock this out of the park. She did an amazing job. So I want to give a shout out to her. Sam, Lisa, everybody. I'm going to get in trouble. Natalie's going to say, why do you always leave me out? All right, everybody is in. Now, let's move along. I say, first of all, I'm on my ninth. If you're new here, I'm on my ninth. All right. I am a Trump supporter if you're new. There's a Trump flag right here. This is the Rat Pack. This is the 8-ball. This is what I got to do from time to time. Squeeze toy. Luckily, from time to time, I got to get a chew toy. But let me move right along here. Put this up, okay? Because I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you like this. Give me number 19. Okay. As I have told you, CNN, stay with me on this. CNN is not the most dangerous network in America. They're not. Most people in America understand CNN's a clown show. They do. Most of them, oh, hell, how you like my haircut? Boom, I got that Friday, baby. Kim said I could go, and I was out the door. Out the door I went. Boom, boom, boom. Haircut. Look at it one more time. You want to take a second? Anyhow, so where was I at? Trump walks back. Oh, CNN. They're a clown show. Everybody in America knows that, okay? This is the most dangerous network. Now, there's about 7 or 8 things, and I'm not being arrogant or anything. There's about 7 or 8 things I am correct on that we need to take in and we need to work on together. And it's called getting President Donald J. Trump reelected. It's not going to be that easy, folks, when you have evil versus good. And this is evil right here. MSNBC they're evil. That's an evil network. Okay. Trump walks back disinfectant suggestions. Now, I'm going to give you this. Okay. Really quick. Here's this guy, number 27. Okay. He is the governor, number 27. He is the governor of Maryland. His name is Larry Hogan. Trump sparks criticism over disinfectant comments. Now, Governor Hogan from Maryland, okay, they love to get him on there because he doesn't pull the ripcord on the president of the United States. He doesn't get the saw out and just go at him. He does it methodically, soft, very quiet, gentle nature, likes nothing about the president of the United States. Right now, he knows he needs to keep a certain amount of ripple in the water, not waves with the president. He could throw ripple in the water, but he does not want cut off from the funds that Nancy Pelosi is trying to send to all the states. And here's why I say this, okay? This guy says this weekend on the news network there, let's see, ABC, that they have in Maryland received hundreds of thousands or thousands. I don't know. The number was astronomical of people wanting to know about drinking cleaning products or maybe bleach. Put our number back up. Folks, if you have concerns about whether you should drink cleaning products, bleach, or anything whatsoever, would you please call the number on the screen so I can directly call you a dumbass? Because at the state level, they're going to be nice, but they're going to hang up the phone and they're going to laugh at your ass, okay? I'm going to try to help you through it, okay? I'm going to say, first, dumbass, did you read the directions? And it says, do not ingest. Did you see that? Did you see anywhere on there the warnings? I mean, you can't get a 5-gallon bucket without them telling you on the side a kid could fall in and then drown. So if you happen to be one of those dumbasses that think that you can ingest Clorox, because not the president of the United States, Evil Network said the president said that. He did not. He did not say that, okay? He said light and heat, because coronavirus actually, the lifespan, COVID-19, within certain ultraviolet light and heat mixed with humidity, dies quickly. So he wanted to, hey, is there light, heat, anything like that? He looked over at Dr. Burks. Is that her name? Burke or Beck or whatever her name is? He never said to go. He just didn't do it. It didn't happen. So anyhow, I need to know that. Put the number back up because there may be somebody out there that really needs help. These are the people. If you call, this is the contact tracing they're talking about. If you need to call your local hotline to see if you should ingest cleaning products or Clorox, that's the contact tracing. That's the list. I'll tell you, there's some things about this coronavirus that has separated people to a point. We could identify all the brain dead and the list. I'll just take the number off the screen because I'm thinking to myself, call me. Call me. I will be glad to straight up tell you you're a dumbass, okay? Now, here's something a little funny before we get into all the things I'm correct about today. Here's something that's a little funny. If UV rays, if the beautiful sunshine and a nice warm day with a little humidity in the air kills the coronavirus, will kids have to go outside and play? Just saying, just saying. Is China wanting to break the deal? You don't see that in the media anywhere, that China wants to break the deal. You see, if China continues to lead you to believe, okay, if China continues to lead you to believe that the Wuhan virus started at the Wuhan wet market, then it would be a national disaster, which would give them an out in the trade agreement. But if it's found it escaped, if the bat went out of the bag in the laboratory, China may be responsible for damages in the world court. China may be responsible for damages all around the world. In fact, Boris, that's my man. I like, he's back. Boris Johnson, right? Where is, there he is, number 58. There's Boris. Give me 58, okay? There he is. He's back. Boris out there this morning. I get up at 4 a.m. So he did a live feed out there. This morning we have found Boris Johnson. UK is asking for China to forgive their debt. Right? Now, several weeks ago, you are out there. You are the research department here. But you send so much stuff sometimes, I try to get to all of it, okay? But we're a small network. You want to join the network? Call me. Give me a call, right? We're a small network, right? You're the research department. You email me all the time. BKP@FetchYourNews.com, info@FetchYourNews.com, chief@FetchYourNews. You send me stuff all the time. Now, you have sent me stuff in the recent weeks that says that China's trying to get out of the deal. I agree with that. There is a clause in the trade agreement, all right? There's a clause in the trade agreement that says if it's a natural disaster, you guys can just rip up the deal, start all over. China does not want the truth out about it being in a laboratory instead of the wet fish market where the chickens and everything roam. What the hell? The bat is out. There's Boris. Now, okay. You remember this guy, and I want to talk about it like this, and then we're going to get to what I'm right about. Several things. Okay, number 62. You got your dead man walking, and you got your black man walking, and you got your black man walking his ass right out of the Democratic Party. And then he becomes dead man walking. Here's Vernon Jones. Folks, if you go into GMFTO, if you go to our YouTube channel, FYNTV, Fetch Your News, and you go into GMFTO, my playlist, you go back a little bit. last week, was it last week or the end of the following week, I did an hour-and-a-half interview right here in this studio with Vernon Jones. And it was not days after that he was attacked. And I said, quote on this show to Mr. Jones, I forget his opponent's name, but I said, hey, Mr. Jones, better you than me to have 3 Black American, not African American. Damn it, not one of them was born in Africa. If they're born in Africa and come here, send me a note and I will make sure I refer to you as African American. Right now, they're Black Americans. That's where I'm going with this, okay, whether you like it or not. But anyhow, I told Mr. Jones, I said, hey, Mr. Jones, you got 3 Black Americans. You have your opponent. You have Stacey Abrams. Oh, my God. I have to do this to keep from saying things. And it's all the Cub fans' fault because I also want to say something, and he put it in my head, and I can't get it out. All right, there's a thought. Right, here we go. We got Stacey Abrams, Nikema Williams, if you're out there nationally, she is the chair of the Georgia Democratic Party. Stacey Abrams is his opponent, and I said, hey, you know, better you than me to have 3 Black American women after you. Well, the attack, and he said, quote, leaving the plantation. The attack on him was so bad, he has resigned. But what he said he's going to do, he's going to fulfill his term. He's not going to let the good citizens of DeKalb County and the surrounding areas. He is a Georgia state representative. Oh, what did he do? You ask. He endorsed, there he is on the screen. He endorsed President Donald Trump. He said, I endorse the President of the United States. Boom. Now, how about this? It's not in the news anywhere. It's not. I mean, it'll be in a couple places, but look at, see if I can get here. No, I don't want dimwit right there. Hold on. I got it. I'm going to get it here in just a second. Give me number. Holy mackerel here, Batman. I got it here somewhere. I know I do. It's the dimwit from. I had it here just a minute. Don't go nowhere. Where is that dimwit from? All right. I thought I had it. Maybe I don't. So we'll go to this one right here. But because I wanted to show you Vernon Jones, and then I wanted to show you. All right. Let's go to this number 60. I'll tell you what, it's easy. If white people think it's hard leaving the house under a government, stay in place, try to be a Black American and think for yourself. Try to be a Black American and say what you want to say. Try to be a Black American and have an independent thought, right? Try that for a change. What the hell? Dem to vote to censure of lawmaker who met with Trump. President tells her to switch sides. Who is this lady here? Number 61. Who is she? That is State Rep Karen Whitsett from Detroit. The Motown. Motown, right? That happens to be the lady that said she was on her deathbed. That happens to be a lady, a Black female American that had COVID-19. That happens to be a Black state, Michigan state representative that said, hey, give me the hydroxychloroquine. I'll try anything. And then when she recovered, she publicly said, thank you, Mr. President. So President Donald J. Trump had a COVID-19 recovery party at the White House. He invited people all over to tell their stories about recovering from COVID-19. This lady Karen Whitsett of Detroit, a state representative, went to the White House. Look at all the things she did wrong as an independent thinking Black American, right? So she goes to the White House, right? And she sits there. Trump looks at her and says, hey, tell us what happened. Tell us how it went for you. What happened? You feeling better? And she said, yes, Mr. President, I am feeling better. I took hydroxychloroquine. I was at my wits. I didn't know what to do. I thought I was dying. This woman does that. She was actually nice to the president, said thank you to the president. She happens to be a Black female American, and now she's in trouble. You know what it's like to be her in Detroit right now? And then go back to a friend of the show here, number 62, Vernon Jones. I'm just saying. Now we're going to take a break, but I want to go through this really quick, okay? Give me number 9. Number 9. We're going to get into this, okay? New evidence supporting credibility of Tara Reade's allegation against Joe Biden emerges. Not a network. No networks are talking to Joe. Now, maybe if her name was Stormy Daniels and she had some double D's, and Michael Avenatti, the criminal attorney, he's a criminal attorney, would have put this out, and it was, I don't know, a Republican. Nothing. Crickets. Okay. We'll talk about that a little later. Here's something that people are excited about. You got to give a shout out. Number 10. Number 10, Waffle House to resume dine-in service Monday. That's today. So as soon as I'm done here, it's down there. It's chunked, covered, scattered. Flip it up, throw it up. Oh, I shouldn't say it about Waffle House. Throw it up a little later. Hey, Waffle House. You gotta love it, man. They're opening today. Now, number 12. We're going to give you a couple things I was correct about because we're going to get it in the show. Number 12. What Trump went off on Brian Kemp. This is Jonathan Swan. This is Axios.com. Now, I don't know if you know what Axios.com, the website is. Why Trump went off on Brian Kemp. What did I tell you last week was the reason? I told you. Let me tell you, there's a good cop and there's a bad cop. Rush Limbaugh is playing good cop. If you think on a daily basis that Rush Limbaugh does not know the direction the president of the United States is going in, and if you think on a daily basis maybe the president of the United States is helped out with his direction by Rush Limbaugh, you're wrong. Sorry. Now, I want to look at the camera and tell you, I like Governor Brian Kemp opening Georgia back up. Obviously, look at this great haircut. Barber's design, hair designed by Barber and Ella J. Aware. Oh, no, nobody touches the hair. Nobody. Barber's it. Anyhow, so I'm in favor. I was in favor of the opening up. All right. I'm in favor. Good. Trump came down on Kemp like a hammer. Maxwell's silver hammer came down upon Kemp's head. Bang, bang. Trump. Why? Why? Kemp's doing. I told you last week, got nothing to do with opening Georgia. I support opening Georgia. I think a lot of this is, well, if I use the word hoax, people will attack me. Oh, go ahead. So I like it. Rush Limbaugh, thank God for Brian Kemp. So Rush Limbaugh's been playing the I love Brian Kemp. Don't know exactly where Trump's going with this. Boom, boom, boom. I told you last week, early in the show, last week, the first time at the coronavirus task force meeting, I told you right out of the box. I said, it's got nothing to do, didn't I? If you're not new to the show, if you're new to the show, I told you last week, nothing to do with it. It's Kelly Loeffler. What'd I tell you? Somebody asked me Friday. I told you Friday. I said, what happened? I told you Thursday. Trump has watched Loeffler and her insider opinion, insider trading for the last 2 months, kept not say a damn word. Polling. They have polling data in Georgia that show that Kelly is nosediving. Collins is 2-1. But they have polling that shows Kelly Loeffler causing Republicans a problem in Georgia and across the United States. Okay, not just Georgia. So I told you that. I'm correct. Now, let me say this. Let me give me number. Okay, I'm gonna give you two things. I gotta go. Okay, we're gonna get back to that in a minute. Where's it at? I have it here somewhere. Okay, I got it here. Just everybody relax. Damn it, I'll find it in just a minute. Where the hell's it at? Well, wait a minute. Let me give you this one. Well, I can't find it. I thought I had it here, but the world didn't end. We'll go with that. Give me number 63. This is Otto Warmbier. Okay. Kim Jong-un sent Otto Warmbier home in a vegetative state. Remember? He sent him home in a vegetative state. His parents got to do no more than look at him in a vegetative state with zero response. But President Donald J. Trump got him home. So let me say this. Rocket Man, if you're alive, okay, you're alive. If you're dead or if you're in a vegetative state, go to hell. You understand? That's your next stop. Boom, hell. Rocket Man. Okay. If you're in a vegetative state, as a Christian, you don't say this, but hell, karma's a bitch. Okay. That's all I want to say. There you go. I said it. I got it out of my system. I feel much better. Now, this one right here, I told you this last week. Okay. You see number 5? Read it. Help get even bigger numbers. Now, Nancy Pelosi came out in front of the cameras the other day. You know, I think it was yesterday or something. She's on the show, Nancy Pelosi. And do I have a picture of Nancy Pelosi? Do we have one for her? That's just wrong. That's just wrong. That's unacceptable. I think it's funny as hell. All right, look at that one and then give me number 6. Look at that one and then give me number 6. McFly. Did I send you number 6 or not? There's number 6. Thank you. Thank you. I send, don't take it out on Jessica. I send so many pictures and things throughout the day that it freezes up sometimes when she's trying to switch. There's Nancy. Hold on a minute. Give me number 7. Yes, as we zoom in, it looks as though Nancy Pelosi has cut her own bangs. And this is the woman we want to be responsible with trillions of dollars of spending. I mean, she's at home. You know, what happened here? Was she in the room with the scissors and one of the grandkids walked in? Grandma, stop. Give me those scissors. Why? Why can't I cut my own hair? Holy smokes. Number 6. And they call Donald Trump crazy as hell. Oh. All right. Number 1, Ethan Underwood. Put him up there. He may not want to follow that. He may say, leave me out of this. But he will be my guest at 8:45. Number 11, we're going to talk about today also. Okay, here's number 11. Give me number 11. What does that say? Let me see. Let me pull it up. It says Georgia, other states could go through reserve fund quickly. I was right about that. I told you. Who's going to pay the bills? They're trying to put money together for states now. Bam. Take us to break. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
In this unprecedented time for our country, we need unprecedented leadership. We need conservative John Wilkinson representing North Georgia in Congress. John will work with President Trump to lead our country through this uncertain time and make sure China pays the price. As our state senator, John Wilkinson has proven he is pro-life, pro-gun, and pro-border security. We can count on John. John Wilkinson for Congress, the conservative leader North Georgia needs.
I'm John Wilkinson, and I approve this message.
Hey, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I want to thank all 9 candidates Saturday night. That is on our YouTube channel, FYN TV, Fetch Your News, our YouTube channel. I know all of the GOP in the 9th District. I know all the GOP in the 9th District. Sorry about that. I know all the GOP in the 9th District posted it on their Facebook pages. We've blasted it out everywhere. All 9 candidates did an amazing job. They really did. Now, and they're trying to fill the seat that Congressman Doug Collins is vacating to run for Senate. So let me say this really quick, okay? Let's get this out of the way. All right. Give me number 59. All right. Let's get this out of the way real quick. This goes back a little bit. Now, blow for never Trump Republicans as Larry Hogan decides not to run. Maryland governor had explored run against president. Does not rule out post-Trump run in 2024. So every time you see Larry Hogan on TV, there's a couple things I want you to remember. A, he's a never Trumper, okay? He is. The never Trump movement tried everything to convince him to run against the president, even to the point that he explored a run against Trump. So anytime somebody's on TV, and the reason I'm telling you this is what we're going to get into this a little deeper, okay, is what we're doing here is trying to lay out some things you have to be aware of and we have to work on so we can get the president reelected. So he's a never Trumper every time. The second thing about Larry Hogan is he is the chair of the National Governors Committee and a Republican, and the co-chair is nipple rings. Sorry, you don't like it, but that is Cuomo in New York. So there's a never Trumper that they put on TV, okay? The never Trumper is Larry Hogan, and then they back it right up with nipple rings, Cuomo. That's who's heading up, okay, the National Governors Association. So every time you see this guy, let me put it here, number 27, okay? Number 27, every time you see him, Larry Hogan, and he says Trump sparks criticism over disinfectant claim, and he's on TV trying to walk nicely that he almost likes the president, trying to say that the president has almost done a good job every time you see him. But then he throws out, we've got hundreds of thousands of phone calls wanting to know if you should get. I want to give you, Larry Hogan, if you're listening, tell the people that get the phone calls, say, can you read? Yes. Read the side of the bottle. Yes. Do you see where it says don't ingest or use internally? Yes. You dumbass, don't do it, okay? You got to throw in dumbass. I mean, this is one time where you got to get red, from the 70s show. This is some dumbass stuff. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to be nicer, okay? Now, these three right here, number 56, Dimwit Moore, okay? This is Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and I call her Dimwit Moore because Whitmer, not there's no R. I know you're yelling, oh my God. So Gretchen Whitmer, okay. I have family in Michigan that calls her Gretchen Dimwitmer, and I hear that's her name in there. She's auditioning. State reports rising calls about ingesting disinfectants. Okay, we'll take that. And then how about she's auditioning. Here you go, number 2, Stacey. That's a monster, man. That girl. So everybody's telling me, I've known this for years, that Stacey Abrams is working to put white people in an area where new districting would make them null and void. Really? I've been telling you that for how long? I know Abrams is trying to shift around the whiteys in Georgia so they can manipulate some districts. Yes. So she is, you know, I don't know if Joe wants to kiss her on the neck, sniff that hair. Ooh, he did a lot of products. Maybe that's why she won't get it. She's not sniffable. She's not a scratch and sniff girl like Joe likes. There may not be anything in that hair, but products there. Joe might not be up for that. I don't know. She's auditioning. And here's Amy Klobuchar, number 3, senator from Minnesota, giving her loser sign. She was a loser as a Democrat candidate for president, but she's auditioning. Here's a lady Joe likes, number 8. We'll talk about this. Check this little chickie out there. Joe, did you sniff her hair when she was an aide for you, Joe? When you Senate aide, did you give the scratch and sniff on her, Joe? I got to go. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back with this great candidate of 9. They're all good candidates. Let me say this before I go. I did not say this. It's on the tape, okay? It's on the tape. But the quote of the night, I got a text Sunday morning, I got a text from a viewer that said the quote of the night was, "If you wipe your ass, wash your hands." Michael Bogus. I didn't say it. He did. It's on the tape. Take a break. Ethan Underwood will be with us right after this.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
It's been 4 generations of family ownership, tens of thousands of customers, and more Chevys than we'd ever be able to count. And more than 60 years later, when we say Days gets it done, we still mean it. With the North Georgia Mountains' lowest Chevy prices, a huge selection, and outstanding customer care. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and let's get it done. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Find new roads.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
People don't stay in one place like they used to. Some move. But that's not my story. My story is farming this land like my family has for over 150 years. It's worshiping in the same church like we have for 7 generations. It's serving as a volunteer firefighter, police officer, and in the Georgia State House. I'm Kevin Tanner, and I approve this message. I will protect our conservative North Georgia values in Congress because I live them.
Take a deep breath. Now let's remember that in America, we look out for our neighbors. We sacrifice for one another. but never sacrifice our freedom. And when the going gets tough, well, America gets tougher. This is a political ad, but right now, I think the world needs less politics and more reminders that we are America.
I'm Andrew Clyde, Republican candidate for Congress in Georgia's 9th District, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Clyde for Congress, Incorporated.
Okay, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. You know, Saturday night, and folks out there, you know the number, right there it is. We had to do some things Saturday to make some changes. So if any of the audio levels up, down, you can't hear the guest, whatever, don't hesitate to send us a text message. Saturday night, the 9th Congressional District of Georgia has an open seat where Congressman Doug Collins is running for the Senate. So we have 9 candidates, 9 registered candidates. So we felt it was the right thing to invite all 9 registered candidates to our first debate Saturday night, made it lengthy, 3 hours. And then we did some roundtable afterward, and some of the candidates stuck around. I'm not going to pass judgment for the ones that did not stick around. They may have had something to do. We already spent 3 hours. But my next guest, he went 3 hours in the debate, and then he stuck around. We had some good roundtable, and he is a candidate for the 9th Congressional District, Ethan Underwood.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. I tell you what, let me ask you first and foremost, what are some of the biggest takeaways from the debate, and you know, some of the questions that I may have asked that you were able to answer there, but it's the first time maybe our viewers are hearing some of your answers here. How did you perceive the debate, and what are some of the takeaways for you?
No, I thought the debate went very well. It was very good, well-rounded discussion of issues. But as you said, there was 9 folks in that debate, and it was just hard to get to everything we want to talk about with that many people. But I thought it went well. The major issue that I sense on people's minds are, when are we going to get back to work? How are we going to get the economy going? How do we control this coronavirus? And how do we hold China accountable for it?
Well, you know, I brought that up, Mr. Underwood. I brought that up in my first segment. In the trade agreement, there is an out for a natural disaster, and China will not come to the table and say it came out of the Wuhan lab, because that's culpability, I guess. You're the attorney. Just correct me when I'm wrong. All right.
No, that's exactly right.
And
have been.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, they just want to. They want to continue to try to convince the world to come out of a wet market, which it did not.
No, and the data that continues to come in shows that in fact bats were not sold at the local wet market, and the bats in which this coronavirus originated are approximately 800 miles away. However, there is the Wuhan laboratory that is right there in the heart of that province, which has been doing experiments that the U.S. intelligence has been telling us has not been observing required protocols. We know where it came from, and China has not been honest with us. And as you said, they don't want the culpability. I don't think they want the lawsuits or the bad will, but they're getting it just by their blatant denial.
Well, let me ask you. Saturday night we did a segment, and I would do it again. It's not a given the questions to any of the candidates. I would do it again in a minute, and we did a little segment on several topics. And but what we did is we put in there, Republicans have taken back the House, and that's how we started it. So we wanted to build up. Okay, Republicans have the House. You're in the leadership side now of the House. What would you do? What would you do on certain subjects? So let me ask you a question. That way, Republicans have the House. Probably between now and the end of the year, there will not be a whole lot happen with China because we're probably going to go into election mode and everybody's going to stay away from some things. So in 2021, if you are the congressman, what say you Republicans in charge should do concerning China?
Well, concerning China, we have got to shore up our national security. And that involves everything from just finally having an adult discussion about immigration policy. We have to know who is coming into our country, not just from the Mexican border, but from Asia as well. From a public health standpoint, we have to know whether folks who are not citizens of the United States are bringing diseases into the U.S. We have to look at shoring up our economy. We have to bring manufacturing, particularly medical devices and pharmaceuticals, back to the U.S. Now, I don't think we're going to bring every single industry back from China. There's been 50 years of investment in Chinese company where they've built up their infrastructure. But this pandemic, thank God, has not been as prolific as it was forecast to be. But it is now an opportunity, and that's what I would spend my time in Congress, is making sure that we are never subject to something like this again, that we have medical stores, that we have our equipment, we have manufacturing ability here in the U.S., and that we don't have our people subject to a pandemic, something that's significantly worse in the future.
So you would look at the supply lines. I think I understand, and a lot of people will agree. Obviously, we're going to trade within the world, and we're going to trade within all of our trading partners. The UK, whatever it may be, we're going to have trading partners all over the world. I don't see that ending, but I look at supply lines of all the things that, from pharmaceuticals, of the things that they say, whoa, China has a little more control over this or that. Those are things that you would directly make sure that we corrected and changed in this country?
Yes, and we're going to have to incentivize that. We're going to have to make sure that we have adequate medical supplies stockpiled. But as far as manufacturing capabilities, we're going to have to look at economic incentives for these companies to stay in the U.S. And let's be honest. I mean, we can make campaign promises, but it really comes down to manufacturing costs. We've got to make sure that it's profitable, that private industry can compete. But at the same time, there are strategic industries and strategic stockpiles that we have to have on U.S. shores.
One thing, and I don't know if it will be left, and I don't think it will be left because they're trying to push it right now, but the amount of spending, over $2 trillion, and now people like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and even Mitch McConnell, they're looking at what I call a bailout for the states. Now, we talked about that Saturday night, and if people are paying attention, it's a big story this morning with Nancy Pelosi trying to get money for the states immediately. What say you?
Well, again, I think that the discussion of calling this a bailout, we have to decide. It's important where we send the money. Now, remember, our conservative president, Donald Trump, endorse this initial $2.2 trillion spend. It was unfortunately necessary to keep people from losing homes. The government asked people to stay home, to shelter in place, to not go to work. And we can't let people just lose their homes. And that initial spend was not designed for companies. It was not designed for art centers. It was supposed to have been for people who are just blue collar workers, our restaurant workers, our teachers, our firemen, who just, we want to make sure they don't lose their homes. Now, the second wave is looking more like a pork bill. And I think the Republicans have got to stand strong to make sure that it's not going just to bail out states who've mismanaged funds. We have the federal emergency funds that are available for states. They can tap into those, but I would not support spending any additional dollars to bail out states, particularly California, New York, Illinois, who've just mismanaged their funds.
So let me get this straight. So what you're saying, and I understand the first part. As a conservative, I cringed with the 2.2 trillion. I got to tell you, I cringed with it.
I did as well.
And we have to accept that. We have to accept that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, they held the American people, in my opinion, they held them hostage over this and pushed some things of spending that I didn't feel was necessary at all. It should have been 100% focused on small business, like you said, nonprofits, retaining our homes, things like that, and nothing outside of that. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And that's one of the problems with the federal government's omnibus spending bills. In Georgia, we have a constitutional requirement that a bill must pertain to the issue at hand. Unfortunately, in the federal government, that has not been approved. I absolutely would support that. And I think this is a good time to really reevaluate as Americans what's important. I hope that people who have been trapped and have been hurt from this economically, and with folks who've lost loved ones, can look at the Congress and say, look, you guys have been doing this wrong for way too long. It's time to reevaluate how we govern. And I think that includes adding regulations that says that, you know what, a bill that's going through Congress is going to have to apply to a specific subject matter and not just be, well, we can throw in pork projects and abuse the system.
So would you say, when you said emergency funding, I don't know, and some of our viewers don't want to put it like this, but if you didn't understand what he was saying, in all due respect, we have funds set up, emergency funds for states hit by tornado, hit by hurricanes, hit by any natural disaster, that the federal government can go in and assist states in those areas that are hardest hit. Are you saying go to that fund and determine which state is hit whatever value and work through that, and not put out another bailout for states? Is that what I heard you say?
That's exactly what I'm saying. No, we have the Federal Emergency Management Act. FEMA is what most people are familiar with. Whenever you have tornadoes, natural disasters, this absolutely is a natural disaster, unfortunately caused by China, but it's a disease. And that's what these funds are there for. They already exist. So the Democrats coming back with their handout saying, please, give us some more money to spend, particularly with states who've mismanaged their funds. There's already a mechanism in place to help the people that need help. This doesn't need to go as a bailout to states who can't budget.
All right. Let me ask you this. Okay. Back to Republicans have the floor. And what I mean by that, the majority. So if you enter Congress with a Republican majority, I'm going to say, I'm going to put it this way. Let's see how you handle that. Okay. Out here as a conservative Republican in the 9th congressional district, because we are the third most Republican district in the United States. Me, along with a lot of our viewers and friends, we feel the last two times, so I'm going to be candid, the last two times Republicans got the keys to the car, they blew it. That's our thought. Okay, maybe we're wrong, but we feel the Republicans may have blown it the last two times. They got the keys to the car. So let's say Republicans win control. You go up there as a congressman. What say you they need to do different than the last two times they had the majority in the House?
Well, first, I want to emphasize to the listeners how important the 9th congressional district seat is. It's not just one of 435 congressmen. Because the Republicans are so strong in the night, we're going to win it 80-20 with President Trump on the ballot, maybe 83-17. It's a safe seat. And because of that, whoever you elect to send up there is going to be important on the national stage to carry the football. We can carry legislation that some congressman out in Illinois or Nevada, who's only winning by a couple of points, they can't stick their neck out on. So who we send in the 9th district matters to the entire country. But you've got in some of these states, they're wishy-washy Republicans. I wish they had the insight that we do. I wish they understood the Constitution like we do. But there are other folks in the country who are in tighter races than we are in the 9th. But given the circumstances, given the egregious acts the Democrats have done in trying to commandeer this bill, I think we can now get things passed that we were not able to 6 months ago, or at least 2 years ago when we controlled the House. We have got to get spending in check, and I know that's hard to say after we just spent $2.2 billion, but get our spending in check. We have got to reduce the national debt. Now is a good opportunity to be negotiating with China to reduce that, because just the interest savings alone will help us in the long run. And then at the same time, as I said, we've got to make sure that we are realigning all of our trade deals, realigning our manufacturing capacity, and making sure that something like this never happens in the U.S. again.
Okay, what about things like, how would you, when you just said it and I want you to go back to it, how would you propose that we should set up our appropriations in Congress as we do now? And as we do now, we do a lot of omnibus voting where, all of the appropriations committees go in, work on theirs, and they stack them up, and there's 1,200 sheets, and we vote on it. What proposals, or what do you think we should change where that's concerned? Because I'm going to tell you, sir, if you told me right now you would read every bill, the candidate that comes out and says, I won't vote on anything before I read it, I'm sorry to say I can't accept that candidate's being honest with me, because if you can read the 1,200-page bill in 48 hours, you got to help me with that. So,
no, it's impossible.
Right?
It's impossible.
Exactly.
No, the bills are too long. Again, I think we need to, as Republicans, commit, and maybe we do it again like a contract with America, like Newt did 25 years ago. We as Republicans lead, and we commit, say, you know what, we're not going to propose bills that are multiple issue bills. We're going to run these through and provide transparency to the American people. Maybe the Democrats aren't going to agree to it to where we can put it in law, but if we're in leadership as a policy, I would be willing to commit to Americans that that's what we need to be doing, and I'll fight for that.
Let me ask you something on the party side, and I don't want to get off the subject of representing the 9th district, but if you're out there and you're paying attention, no disrespect to any of the audience, but if you pay attention, Congressman Doug Collins, what a lot of people don't know is, one, he has well represented the 9th district. I mean, that he has some good offices. He has been a defender of the president, but because he is an 80-20, now you just explained that you've got Republican districts across the United States that are, there's only 2 percentage points separate them from the Democrat, and they're tough districts. Congressman Collins has done an amazing job, and these are my words because I know it for a fact, of going around the country and doing everything he can to get Republicans control. And people might think, well, Congressman Collins, what are you doing in Ohio? What are you doing in Illinois? What are you doing in Iowa? What are you doing in Pennsylvania? He is trying, for the 9th Congressional District voters out there, he is trying to get those people elected so you can get the majority. What I'm getting at is not leaving behind the 9th District in any way, but if elected, will you make the commitment he's made in doing what you can to get other Republicans elected?
Absolutely. Politics is a team sport, and you can't, as they say at some software firm, that's not a bug, that's a feature. You can't operate as an independent person in the legislature. You have to work to obtain a majority. Now, I have worked for the last 25 years in the Republican Party, working to elect conservative candidates, and some, we've liked better than others. Take John McCain. He wasn't my first choice, but when he became the nominee, we supported him because we knew he was better than the alternative. And we have to work together. As I said the other night, if I can agree with someone on 80% of the issues, rather than just putting a litmus test, you don't agree with me on everything, therefore we're not allies and we're not going to work together. If I can agree with you on 80% of the issues, you're my friend, we're going to work together.
Let me get a couple things as far as your campaign is concerned. It's why did you step up and decide it's time now to run for the 9th Congressional District? Why are you running? The simple question, but why are you doing this?
Well, 2 reasons. First off, I have 4 children, and I want them to have the same opportunities that I do. And I was watching these candidates come out of Washington, and they're now walking the halls of Congress. They're openly embracing socialism. That has frightened me because we know that has destroyed every society it's touched. But we're promising to a new generation, if we just give you free handouts, then we're going to make America better. It doesn't. It destroys everywhere it touches. That's what inspired me. But I also wanted to throw my hat in the ring because no other candidate can articulate these issues. I'm an attorney who fights government. That's what I do. I'm not an ambulance chaser. I'm an attorney who represents businesses and people when they go up against the government. So I've got 17 years of thick skin and understanding how to articulate the conservative message. We need a fighter, someone who can go to D.C. and argue this point. And I just feel I'm the best candidate to do that. It is hostile territory. You got to have someone with a stiff spine and thick skin, and I'm the best person in the field for that.
I'm watching this morning, and there's the game plan. I know the Democrat game plan, the playbook, and now they're shifting into the mode of saying that Republicans are starting to want, and we've heard this before, wanting to distance themselves from the president due to the recent virus and how they claim he's handled it. And they say there's Republicans across the country concerned about their reelection. How do you feel the president has handled this COVID-19 attack from China, a virus, folks, but as an invisible war? How do you think he's handled it? And are you one of those Republicans that are starting to get a little uneasy about the way the president is handling things?
Well, first off, I'll say not at all. And I'm going to answer the question the same way that President Trump has been dealing with this situation, is with facts. The president was the first person to stop travel from China. He was called a xenophobe. He was called a racist, but he was taking reasonable measures based upon facts showing that the disease was coming from China, and therefore we had to stop people coming who may be carriers of the disease. He acted before it was politically popular, which is, again, that's a hallmark of Donald Trump. He doesn't care. He's not a politician. He wants to do what's right. He doesn't care about the politics of it. But he has consistently taken measures that even some conservatives don't like. I mean, I'm not happy about the economy shutting down, but again, our conservative president has said, folks, based on the data that we've gotten, China's garbage, but the data that we're seeing out of Europe coming in is this disease looks like it could be a really major issue. He asked us to hold off for 8 weeks and shut down the economy. It's been unprecedented. I don't like it. It's the first time something like this has happened since we discovered germ theory, or at least understood germ theory. But based upon the data, he said this is the actions we need to take. Well, the data is now coming in again saying, you know what? It's not as prolific as it was going to be. We're not going to be exceeding our hospital capacity. It's time to reopen the economy, and he's letting the data drive that. So, no, President Trump has managed this well. He's kept the liberals on their feet, and I think history is going to show that he has managed this the best way he could have. And I'm a supporter. I'm a fan of what all he's done.
I know Georgia's primary is June 9th, and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger is allowing people to vote absentee. And in the past, folks, if you vote absentee, you have to request a ballot, number one. And number two, you have to meet a certain criteria, check off certain boxes to be able to do that. Brad Raffensperger, in the effort to give everybody a chance to vote, and not have to leave the house. And the coronavirus sent everybody in Georgia an application for an absentee ballot, and then is going to set up in the state of Georgia drop boxes for those ballots so they don't have to be touched. Some have a lot of concern with that. Even the president of the United States, vote by mail. Now, I think pretty sure he was talking, Mr. Underwood, about the president, but he said if we relax requirements to vote and we do vote by mail, a Republican will never win again. How concerned are you with the upcoming primary and after that all the way into November?
You know, in the 9th district, I am not concerned about our race. I think the people in the 9th district are conservative, and we play by the rules. I am concerned about what the Democrats are looking to do. But this is a unique situation. Given the pandemic and given that we are telling people still, our conservative governor, Ryan Kemp, is telling people to slowly come back into the marketplace, but we're not ready to go full tilt. I think this is the only option. What we have to watch, though, is in the future is when people say, well, during the pandemic, you sent a ballot request to everybody. We need to do that from every election from now on. No, I think the Georgia General Assembly needs to put into law that something like this will only be done during a state of emergency, and it is an exception and not the rule.
I'm going to agree with that. I mean, I try not to get candidates on here. I don't endorse that, but I agree with that. We need something in Georgia that says, okay, if that was due to an emergency, we just got to make sure after this, no emergency, you cannot use it just because as a Secretary of State.
Get ready, because that's the Democrats are going to push that. They will be pushing that as soon as the Speaker calls the House back in session. Be ready for that, and the Republicans need to be ready to fight back.
Actually, you know, we talked about that, and I'm glad you brought that up, because in the next billions that she wants to get out, she wants to get aid to states. We'll leave it at that, aid to states, and then they want to push in vote by mail money to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to vote by mail. And, you know, we have our concerns. It's called, you know, ballot harvesting. A lot of politicians, a lot of people are concerned with that. Let me ask you one more question, and we'll let you go. I know you got a busy day campaigning. What is it you want to say to the voters? I tell all the candidates to come on. I'll give them a couple minutes at the end. What do you want to say to the voters out here in the 9th district that you haven't got a chance to say, or you want them, and how can they find more information on you, Mr. Underwood?
Sure. Well, first off, I want everyone to know that I am a father and a husband and a Christian and a attorney and a businessman. And I live in the 9th. I understand the issues that people are going through. We're struggling with them at my office as well. But we're going to get through this pandemic. And now is a time to learn and to be better for the future. Now, with the folks who are in this race, there's 9 folks in the race. They're all good people. But at the end of the day, we have to decide who's the right person to carry the football. And we can't send someone who is just going to be eaten alive by the D.C. establishment, because it is a rough place. We can't send someone who thinks like a government bureaucrat, and we can't send someone who's just going to vote no on everything. That doesn't mean you're the most conservative. It means you're not going to get anything done. We have to send an effective voice who can articulate the conservative message. I would be honored to be your representative in D.C. You can find out more about us, our pro-life message, our pro-Second Amendment message, our pro-business message at voteethanunderwood.com.
One more time, you broke up there. Vote what?
It's again, I said, I want you to learn more about our pro-life, our pro-gun, our pro-business message at voteethanunderwood.com. And you can also call my cell phone. It's 770-842-1007. Love to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Ethan Underwood. We appreciate you. Have a great day, and we'll get you back on real soon to talk to the voters. You're welcome. Ethan Underwood in the 9th Congressional, sorry if I cut you off there too soon, sir, but 9th Congressional District here in Georgia, wanting to take the seat, the empty seat being left behind by Doug Collins, who is seeking the Senate, and he is one of the 9 candidates here, Ethan Underwood. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Kelly Loeffler. We're going to talk about Brian Kemp. We're going to talk about why Republicans, according to the New York Times, are distancing themselves. That's fake news, fake news. So I'm going to clear up some things when we come back. Let's take a break.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
It's been 4 generations of family ownership, tens of thousands of customers, and more Chevys than we'd ever be able to count. And more than 60 years later, when we say Days gets it done, we still mean it. With the North Georgia Mountain's lowest Chevy prices, a huge selection, and outstanding customer care. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and let's get it done. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Find new roads.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
People don't stay in one place like they used to. Some move. But that's not my story. My story is farming this land like my family has for over 150 years. It's worshiping in the same church like we have for 7 generations. It's serving as a volunteer firefighter, police officer, and in the Georgia State House. I'm Kevin Tanner, and I approve this message. I will protect our conservative North Georgia values in Congress because I live them.
Take a deep breath. Now let's remember that in America, we look out for our neighbors. We sacrifice for one another, but never sacrifice our freedom. And when the going gets tough, well, America gets tougher. This is a political ad, but right now, I think the world needs less politics and more reminders that we are America.
I'm Andrew Clyde, Republican candidate for Congress in Georgia's 9th District, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Clyde for Congress, Incorporated.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
In this unprecedented time for our country, we need unprecedented leadership. We need conservative John Wilkinson representing North Georgia in Congress. John will work with President Trump to lead our country through this uncertain time and make sure China pays the price. As our state senator, John Wilkinson has proven he is pro-life, pro-gun, and pro-border security. We can count on John. John Wilkinson for Congress, the conservative leader North Georgia needs.
I'm John Wilkinson, and I approve this message.
Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. I want to let Sassy Frass on our YouTube channel, the live chat, know that I am reading all of your stuff. Okay. Thank you for all your kind comments. Your questions are great. Let me say this. Okay. Let's be quick. Did I almost say a bad word? No. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. I believe the virus is real, and you know that. If you know me, you know I believe it's real. Okay? I do not believe the numbers. And I want that, and I want you to know I do not. Go to number 36. And I want to be clear, if you're new to the show. When you hear that the United States of America has, okay, 972,000 cases, 361, 54,941 deaths. Now, I don't believe those numbers. Virus is real, mutates, understand the multiplier. You see, what I understand is if you have a severe bad cold and and tears are coming out of your eyes, you should not be going out generally, and you know that. If you go to a church on Sunday and you have a severe bad cold, you hug 10 people, they are going to go home and have a severe bad cold. So now a cold turns into 20. They're going to go home, and now the cold goes from 20 to 60 to 80, whatever. I got it. Okay. So I'm not calling the virus just a cold, but if it's a severe cold, okay. Same thing with the flu. Same thing with the COVID-19. I do not believe the numbers, and I want to let people know I do not believe the numbers. Did I say that already? Because the numbers have to be X for you to believe the government saved you from something. I don't believe the numbers in nursing homes. Something's wrong. Now, I'm not going to put on the tinfoil hat and run and tell you that they went after our seniors. But I told you last week, if you're new to the show, they did go after our seniors in a way because now the fear, okay? The evil people out there in the media have spent every day, and they will not stop, trying to let seniors know that this is Donald Trump's fault and they don't need to vote for Donald Trump. That's the largest, strongest voting bloc Donald Trump has, is seniors. But if they are in a nursing home scared to death because they heard of a nursing home down the street with 17. Now, let me just say this, okay? And I know this for a fact. I don't say things like this if I don't have a fact. Yes, nursing homes. But how many of you know of nursing homes where, I got to make this really short because I got to get to some other stuff. Nursing homes and assisted living do not provide medical care. What's that mean? That means if you're in a nursing home, state nursing home, or an assisted living, a private assisted living or senior living center, they can take your temperature. They can deal with you having a cold. They can help you get over the flu. They can make sure your medication you take it morning, noon, and night, that you get it. Nutritional, exercise, sunshine. But if you need medical care, they do not provide it. They have to send you to the hospital, okay? How many seniors felt they had bronchitis? How many seniors felt they had an upper respiratory problem? Now, I know a lot of seniors because through the winter, okay, let's see, what is it? Now, wait a minute, wait for this. You think about this, okay? It is now going into May. So we got January, February. Do you know we have December. So we feel we may have had it here before we realized it, and that's not Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, fault. But let's take January, February. What are some of the number one fears that seniors, vulnerable seniors, have? Is upper respiratory problems that would turn into pneumonia that kills thousands of seniors every year. My own father, we were in fear that he would not be able to get to Florida this year because he usually goes to Florida in the winter months where he could sit outside and it's warm. We were in fear of, oh my God, if Dad could get through the winter. Guess what? Dad didn't get through the winter. That's right, he didn't. We said, hey, if Dad could get through without pneumonia. So keep this in mind. How many seniors, you got to think about this, felt they had an upper respiratory problem, okay, or pneumonia, but they went to the hospital. Hospital misdiagnosed them and sent them back to the nursing home. How many seniors do you think went to the hospital, got checked out, spent 48 hours? They actually were COVID and got sent back to the nursing home. And next thing you know, you have a senior that's in the nursing home with COVID that gave 10 more. Now, don't get mad, okay? Don't get mad at me. I'm not up on the numbers. I believe the numbers are inflated to the point to get you to believe. I am in shock today on how fast Americans dropped their civil liberties, their rights, and just ran and went home. I am shocked, okay? So let me move on from that. I just want you to know, if you're new to the show, virus is real. Now, number 2, I'm just going to give you this really quick. Number 2, Stacey Abrams and Joe Biden, all right? Stacey Abrams is campaigning for vice president, number 2, all right? She's campaigning hard in Georgia. Now, one, you got to stop and think, will Biden be the nominee? Will he? Even though they're calling him the presumptive nominee in the Democratic Party to run against Donald Trump, and he's still in the basement, there's a lot of people that's not convinced that he's going to be the nominee. But Abrams is running hard for vice president. She's trying to convince the Biden campaign that she can bring in Georgia. Interesting. Number 3, I don't think she's trying to convince him that she could bring in the black vote, because obviously James Clyburn in South Carolina, which Stacey Abrams does not have a great relationship, showed he could bring the brother in. I mean, the brother could bring the black vote in. Oh, yeah. Now you have Amy Klobuchar, number 3. She's campaigning. She is the senator from Minnesota. And let me tell you why she's campaigning hard for it. And they are looking at her because there's some internal polling. Now the left is going to lead you to believe that Trump is worried about internal polling of losing, but there's internal polling that says Minnesota could be in play for the president. So could she block him in Minnesota and have a North Canadian border effect with maybe Wisconsin and maybe Michigan? So she's being looked at. And then another one that's out there on a daily run trying to get in, there's Klobuchar. There's she. I know you've got, here is Dim Whitmer. Here she is, number 28. All right. Look at that top on 28. We talked about it earlier. Detroit Dems censure lawmaker who met with Trump. See that? See that? Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Dim Whitmer there. She is campaigning hard. All right. So the 3 there are campaigning as hard as they can to be vice president for Joe Biden. Will Joe Biden be the nominee? But I want to go to Nancy Pelosi for a minute. You have the video. Let's go to the video here because there's something else I want to bring up before we leave. It's the Twitter from Abigail Marone. You have that one? Play that video if you have it there, please.
As a mom and a grandmother, I just want to say how sad it all is. The numbers are staggering in terms of the infections, but also, of course, the deaths. So serious. Every family, a tragedy. And yet we have these comments coming out of the White House. The president has been irresponsible, and we have insisted on the truth. He said it was a hoax. He said it would go away magically. He said all kinds of things that were not true. And people believe him. He's the president of the United States. The president's words have weight. They have weight. So now that he's gone to this limit, at least it means that lots of scientists and medical professionals have come forth and said, no, he has gone too far this time. As I said, as a mom and a grandmother, I'm embarrassed sometimes about how the president talks. He's crude in that, and you don't want children to hear that. But this is dangerous. This is dangerous. So, Speaker, we have put forth 4 bills in a bipartisan way to help take us into the future, ignoring some of his comments, instead paying attention to science, evidence, data, fact, and truth, insisting on the truth.
Let's talk about those bills. We do know that there has been this next bite. We know that there are going to be further bills. But in the current relief bill, here are some of the highlights of the bill for the audience. The Paycheck Protection Program has been renewed with $320 billion in fresh funding, $75 billion for hospitals and healthcare workers, providers, Economic Injury Disaster Loan Fund of $60 billion, and COVID-19 testing, $25 billion. However, yesterday, we had Bishop William Barber on the show, and he talked about some of the things that in his mind did not make it into the bill, and that he and others hope will get into the next one. Take a listen to that.
Where's the permanent sick leave? Where is the salary protection? Where's the rent forgiveness? Where's the guarantee of that utilities can't be shut off? Where is the money for undocumented workers and the homeless? Where is the direct money for those communities, people of color, that are being hurt the most, and poor communities like up in Appalachia and Kentucky? Joy, we are making a fundamental mistake, because the scientists tell us, the data tells us, that pandemic spread through the fissures of this society. And these type bills are a dereliction of duty. It says that too many people are still too comfortable with too many other people's deaths.
What is your response to that, Madam Speaker?
Well, I'm a great admirer of his, and we stay in constant contact, and I've been on calls and listened to stories from, and he's absolutely right. We have to have many more things in this, and we did in CARES 1, and we were preparing for CARES 2 when along came this intervention. And I really wish that people would understand better what Maxine Waters and Nydia Velasquez, Maxine, the chair of the Financial Services Committee, and the Small Business Committee chair, Nydia Velasquez, put into this bill to take it from a place of $250 first come, first serve from the banks to community development financial institutions now being able to lend to those who are previously had been underbanked. They don't have sophisticated relationships with banks. So this was a specific interim bill, and we changed it from.
I can't subject the audience to that any longer, Destiny. There was stuff I want to get out of that, but I can't subject the audience to that. You have the other, when I say other one, with Nancy Pelosi. Can you pull that one up?
My own governor, Gavin Newsom has been so spectacular. My own governor, Gavin Newsom has been so spectacular. My own governor.
Hold on a minute, folks. Do I have him in my earpiece? Now, remember this, I want to show you this, okay? Now, Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi are mentally unfit. All right? Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi are unfit. Hold on a minute. I'm doing something here. I hope my audio is okay there. Uh, all right. Anyhow, they're unfit for office, both of them. Remember this. I want to put this up. Where am I at here? I'm sorry. I'm hearing myself through my headphones, so I have a little. Let me see if this is correct. Number 13. You got. All right. Sorry about that, folks. I got it now. Number 13. So you want to use the 25th Amendment to get rid of Donald Trump. Here are the hurdles to removing a mentally impaired president. Now, what I want you to look at there, that was dated, that's James Risen, September 21st, 2018. 2018. They have told you all along that Donald Trump's not mentally prepared or mentally able to hold office. Where is, and I know it's because it's Democrats, there's a double standard. Where is the Nancy Pelosi review board? Where are the people that watch every tick and every move of Nancy Pelosi, writing the articles that she's mentally not capable of being Speaker of the House? Where are the roundtable discussions on Joe Biden mentally not able, to be president of the United States? Double standard. Now, we're going to get to another major double standard. I think I have. Let's play. You got a video there. Let me go to this one because this is back to China. You got a video there on Rudy Giuliani and KT McFarland. It's a YouTube. Do you have that one?
It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements.
It's not supposed to start at the beginning. It should have had a time set when I sent it to you. Okay? Let me see. It should have had a time set. Did it not? Did you take it back to the beginning? Because if you refresh it, it should go to a time set up in the show. If you can't, if you don't have the time set, let me know, okay? Because it may have come through. Let me know if that timestamp is on there. Could you please? On the video. Because when I pull it up, once I put it in, it just went to the beginning. There wasn't a time set. Take a 30-second break here. Don't go to work. Take a 30-second break. I want to find that because it's an important video and send back over to you. All right. Start the video at 30 minutes and 6 seconds because it pertains to China. And I want the viewers to hear this, okay, from KT McFarland and Rudy Giuliani, okay? So 30 minutes and 6 seconds is what I'm showing, all right?
Purpose. Now it gets loose. They contain it for China, but they let it come to us. There has to be some deliberation in that.
Well, I think one of the reasons, and you're right about all of that, but one of the reasons that they keep insisting, despite mounting evidence that it came from a lab in Wuhan, they keep insisting, no, it came from the wet market, or maybe it was America that did it. They cannot admit culpability for the following reason. If they do, then there's a clause that they put into the Phase 1 U.S.-China trade deal, where in essence, this trade deal was that we would lift sanctions, we would lift the tariffs on them, and then they would buy a lot of agricultural and other goods from us. But there's a clause that's in there, a get out of jail free clause, which says, however, if there is a natural occurring disaster, the two parties will renegotiate. In other words, China they don't necessarily want to keep the terms of the deal. And so it's very important for everybody, for them, to say, well, it's a naturally occurring disaster come out of the wet lab. It wasn't China that did it. So not only would they give themselves an out for this trade deal that they were pressured into signing, but they also will give themselves an out if countries and companies and individuals all come in the international courts and try to sue China. The countries all over the world are really mad, and they have already started launching lawsuits. The Brits are taking the primary lead in this, of saying China owes us. We want to at least have China forgive us our debt. So I think China has to stick to this increasingly absurd story. Oh, no, it's just a natural disaster. We had nothing to do with it, because they really want to end up looking like the good guys in this, and they certainly don't want to be held responsible.
It's also going to be very, very hard to investigate inside of China because they control everything. Some of the scientists involved have already disappeared. Some of them have changed their testimony. Some can't seem to remember. But the facts are pretty darn clear. This virus comes from China, and China certainly had opportunities to warn the world about the danger of it. And instead of undertaking those opportunities, they avoided them completely. What should we do about it? What should President Trump do about it?
Well, Trump understands this, and I've been in, and although as you know, we are close to these people in the administration, but I don't speak for them. But I know that one of the things that they're considering is that we really need to disengage. We need to decouple our economies. If they want to buy, energy or agricultural goods from us, great. We can buy cheap stuff from them. But we need to take the steps immediately so that we are no longer dependent on China for critical national security supply chains. We've always, as America, we said, well, we're not going to be dependent upon anybody else for food. We're not going to be dependent upon anybody else for component parts to our military. But we now need to add to that to say component parts for our pharmaceuticals industry, component parts for our technology, because there are some reports that the Chinese have said to the White House, we are going to not give you penicillin. China makes most of the penicillin in the world. We are going to deny you having access to penicillin unless you do what we want you to do. So they're trying to blackmail everybody.
Yeah, and I think this has put them in a very, very strong.
I don't have time to stay with that. That is a great interview. I am a KT McFarland fan. I am a Rudy Giuliani fan, and Rudy is correct. KT is correct. China wants an out. They want an out to the trade deal. Okay? They don't want culpability, if that's the big word I'm trying to pronounce. They don't want responsibility because countries around the world are asking for their debt to be erased. But if it came out of well, let me ask you, I don't have time. Okay? I don't have time, but you look it up. There's a reason why Bill Gates is responding to China as some heroes and what great things they've done to help during this pandemic. You see, trade agreement. Bill Gates got other things up his sleeve, right? Along with, he doesn't want, he wants the trade agreement broke. Okay, so I got that. Now let me do this. We have to get through one more thing. Hold on there. Hold on, I have something here I want to do. Everybody take a chill pill. Number nine. Okay. Now remember Christine Blasey Ford, she didn't tell anybody. Did you tell anybody that you claim Brett Kavanaugh, now Supreme Court Justice, allegedly raped you? Did you tell anybody? No, I made the whole thing up. But new evidence supporting credibility of Tara, is that her name, Tara Reade's allegation against Joe Biden emerges. Now, Joe wanted a little more than to sniff her shampoo, her fresh hair, when she was a senior, a senator's aide, number 8, okay? But she did tell somebody, okay? She's number 8. There she is. Here's Tara. Do me a favor. We should have another video with Joe Biden and Larry King. Can you find that one? If you do, let's play that one.
We're back. A couple more phone calls on this very important topic. Our guests are former United States Senator Howard Baker, Richard Allen, former National Security Advisor, and Lois Romano of the Washington Post. San Luis Obispo, California. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm wondering what a staffer would do besides go to the press in Washington. My daughter has just left there after working for a prominent senator and could not get through with her problems at all. And the only thing she could have done was go to the press, and she chose not to do it out of respect for him.
Or she had a story to tell, but out of respect for the person she worked for, she didn't tell it.
That's true.
Now, but these are the people who do come to the Lois Romanos, right? The staff worker who says, I want to let you know about what's going on, either with my boss or the guy down the hall.
And a lot of these people have a sense of obligation. They feel that this public official should be accountable if it's something
They're whistleblowers to the press. We're back. A couple more phone calls on this very important topic. Our guests are former United States Senator Howard Baker, Richard Allen, former National Security Advisor, and Lois Romano of the Washington Post.
This is disappearing from the internet. That would happen to be her mom. Put up number 8. Joe Biden, nobody is talking about it. I mean, you're going to have talk show hosts much like myself, but you don't have anybody, Chuck Todd, CNN. Nobody's talking about Tara and Joe did a little more than sniff her hair. Now, look, if this was her name McDougal or McDonald or whatever from Playboy, if her name was, if you just said, hey, I walked by Trump and I think he smacked me on the ass. Damn, everybody stop, newsroom. Hey, stop that whole story on, 29 people getting killed. Stop it. We have an ass smack from Trump. It goes to the top. Yes, Trump, if anybody would come close to say Trump smacked somebody on the ass, goes right to the top. Joe Biden, nothing. We're going to dig more into this. We've been paying attention to it. Just haven't had time. Now, let me run through some pictures because I got to close. I got 5 minutes. Number 10, stay with me. Waffle House to resume dine-in service Monday at many Georgia sites. Boom! It's time to go to Waffle House. Okay. Number 11, Georgia, other states could go through reserve funds quickly. I told you so. I'm right. I told you last week, okay? Boom. Who's going to pay the bills? Number 12, why Trump went off on Brian Kemp. I told you last week, had nothing to do right here. This is from Axios.com. One of the more surprising recent political moments was when President Trump publicly lambasted Georgia Governor Kemp. It's rare and politically damaging for a Republican official to get steamrolled the way Kemp was last week. People, Trump supports, your president supports opening Georgia up. But why it matters, Trump was encouraging governors to liberate their states, which anti-lockdown protesters saw as an endorsement. He offered guidelines for reopening. Boom, boom, boom. Kemp moved more aggressive than Trump recommended, greenlighting the opening of hair salons, spas, tattoo parlors, and bowling alleys. Okay. Trump, in general terms, has offered support to Kemp in previous phone calls, leading Kemp to believe the president had his back. But on Tuesday, phone call, Trump told Kemp he disagreed with those moves and thought he was going too fast. I told you this. Now, here's what they're calling is behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, two sources who discussed Kemp and Trump told me, this is Jonathan Swan at Axios, there's more to it than a simple political disagreement. You got to understand, Trump feels he made Brian Kemp, and he's right. This is what this individual says. One said, Kemp would not be governor without Trump. Would it hurt him to be a little bit grateful and to take his advice once in a while? I told you all of this, right? In response to Axios reporting, see, nobody internally told me this. Nobody. I told you last week. In response to Axios reporting, Kemp's press secretary, Cody Hall, said in a statement, Governor Kemp is grateful to President Trump's leadership in the fight against COVID-19 and the values and insights of the state measured steps forward, and that it would protect lives, livelihood. Now, between the lines, Jonathan Swan at Axios says, ready? Because, Jonathan, you could have called me last week. I had no insider phone calls, and I reported this last week. Nothing to do with it. The first time I heard it, I came and told the viewers. Between the line, both sources who spoke to Trump about Kemp said the president remained irritated. Wait for it. Irritated by Kemp's earlier decision to ignore recommendations to appoint Representative Doug Collins to vacate the seat in Georgia. What else? Kemp instead appointed Kelly Loeffler, and Trump has watched. I love it. These are the exact words I used last week. And Trump has watched with alarm as Loeffler has since been hammered for stock trades she made during the early days of the coronavirus outbreak, including buying stock in a company that makes video conferencing software. Trump has paid close attention to Loeffler's weak polling numbers. An internal poll from the Collins campaign showed Collins with more than twice as much support than Loeffler. Sources close to Trump doubt he'll endorse Loeffler in the race against Collins, even though Senate Republican leadership backs her, but Trump hasn't decided that yet. I told you that last week when he said he tweeted about Brian Kemp. He helped him get elected. And the next day he said, I'm not happy with Brian Kemp. Your host here told you every word of that last week to be true. Now, let me get back to my pictures. I got to run through a couple things because there's some things happening. Let me see. Number 14, the most evil people there. You can read on the bottom of the screen. Number 15, testing remains. All right. Let's go to what number 17, disinfected. Call me. I will tell you you're a dumbass. Okay. Let's see which one I want. I got to pass this because here it is. Number 22, White House could alter virus briefing to limit Trump's role. And this is what it's all about right now. It's the next plan. It's all political. If you let them get political and you don't get political, that's your problem. Number 29, I told you this was coming. We'll get more into it tomorrow. Nervous Republicans see Trump sinking and taking Senate with him. Watch it. Watch it. Number 30, the surveys also showed Republican senators in Arizona, told you this a long ago, Carolina, North Carolina, and Maine trailing or locked at a dead heat with potential Democrat rival, in part because their fate is linked to Trump's job performance. Here's number 32, so I can get to a close. Pennsylvania, Biden's kicking his ass. Michigan, an ass kicking. And Florida, he is up in Florida. You know, Biden would just come out of the basement. Maybe his poll numbers would go without the protection. All right. Number 33, nervous Republicans see Trump sinking and taking Senate with him. Number 34, okay. Let's see. Let me go the other way. Yes, it's a Trump takedown attempt. I'm going to close with that. Tomorrow morning, we'll talk about that. I'm your host. Put our picture back up for our phone number. Don't forget, you can always contact me. Call me, text me on this phone number. I have to go. I got things to do. I can't just sit around and talk on TV, internet, whatever, all day long. I got a company to run. Destiny, great job. Folks out there, glad to have you. Back tomorrow at 8.